Here's some features you can do with GrowLab at the moment. You can control normal lights, meaning just a normal regular light, so you can see what you're doing, or for one specific feature I saw later, there's a camera, so you can combine it with camera. You can view it remotely using normal light. You can also specify how many hours of light you want every day for your plants. As an example shows here, I have got 3 hours of natural light, and you can adjust the number of what is count as a natural light depending on the sensor value it's giving out. And also you can then top it with artificial light. In this example today I've been working with this system, so I have been giving it more light. So it's basically that's why this green area, it has gone over that now in total of 11 hours. So there's your natural light from outside, sun, and then there is this gray area is now grow light, and so on. You can see the grow light soon. So here's the grow light at the moment on in this development or test potato growing lab. And that's how it looks like. It will start counting the hours from this based on the light sensor, which is actually in here in this corner. That's how it actually measures the natural or this artificial light. The lighting itself is you can set it as a timing table mode or completely automatic based on that our target for each day you specify. Here's actually the I/O device, which is basically an Arduino. Just created a HTTP call to my server. This is server based service, so you need this service to run this whole application. So this is only making measurements, sending the measurements, and then getting commands based on those measurements. All the measurements are per hour based. So every hour my service is taking the input values, and when you have enough of those input values, you can turn them into some sort of actions. They are all changes the behavior based on your variables, what you set there, and basically you can set them based on what you are growing. For example, I'm now testing the potatoes with it. Just turn on my normal lights again for next thing to show. Each of these containers have a moisture sensor, capacitive, behind there, and these are measuring the soil moisture. And this is actually how it looks like. You can set this is a variable thing, that how many days you want to see in the front page here, but anyway, here I watered the plant, so it got higher. Then I can select my other potato, because these containers are labeled with unique labels. Here you can see, actually here is the completely automatic watering event, but I had to make some changes to the piping, so I did today manual watering by hand, but also now tested pump and water valves. Let's see the third one. Here you can see nicely these spikes. And that's how the moisture sensor is working in this system. Here you can see I have water valves controlled with relays. I have 3 of them, and each will be divided into 2 pipes, so it could pretty equally set water in the soil. So a little bit of the water goes to the moisture sensor, so it doesn't cheat it, because it seems to be this is not very good way to get the water going everywhere. I have to improve this, but this will do now. These 2 pipes on each container, it's okay. To get the water running, I'm using just physics. I used first only physics, but then I added a pump. This is very low power pump, so it's using basically physics and this pump. So every time there's a watering event, it will put on the pump and open one of the valves at a time, not all of them, because every plant is every potato container is watered one at a time. Of course, this system also have a temperature sensor and humidity sensor, so you can view your humidity levels and temperature levels. So here I can see my temperature levels. You can do pretty much with these variables, like controlling your ventilation. There's two types of ventilation now. I'll show them soon. Here's the humidity. This is not very stable at the moment. Of course it changes, but I have this fan here, so it will a little bit change the scale because the sensor is close to the fan the wind it's generating. So this humidity temperature sensor is currently located in the back. It's a little bit better position than before. I had it different, and here's just normal computer fan. I can change the air in this container because you can actually close this, so it's a little bit tighter, but of course it's leaking everywhere. This is not meant to be sealed. I also have a CO2 gas sensor. It's a MQ135 or something. It currently has no specific use. It doesn't control anything, but it's taking those measurements and I can view them from the charts. Later on, if you or anybody has a sealed container, you can use in the future different kind of sensors to change this, I mean modify the container air quality. Does it have oxygen more or CO2, whatever. That's the goal in the future, to be able to control the container more. I mean, it kind of can emulate a laboratory environment. GrowLab also supports pH measurements. You can create your own robot to do it if you want, or do it by hand, or if you have some standalone in soil pH sensor or something, you can do it in that way. If you want to set some target, this service will notify you when you are not in your pH target, if wanted so. Because GrowLab idea is that you are not in the place where this growing happens, and I want to do everything remotely. So the idea is that GrowLab can also have some sensors for regulation of voltage in the main unit, so you know if there's some problems. There's a threshold on each of these voltage levels, the higher and lower side. So if there's a regulator failure or something, you can probably notice it and fix the problem. One of the most interesting features in this whole thing is that I have another server here running, and it has a camera connected. It's a webcam. So when you load this web page like this, I can show. This will take some time anyway, but it will load a sample image. Okay, it came pretty fast this time. If I open it, you can get it in a bigger image. The point is that it's taking a snapshot. The service is sending a request to get a snapshot, and this will deliver a snapshot from the time of this load of this website. But that is not all. This backend thing has also this kind of feature that it will take every day one image, so you can create a GIF from them. So I will here request, let's say 20 days. It's one image per day GIF, and when I click this, it will send a command to my server here in a remote location, and it will create me a 20 days GIF and send it back to this service, which will fetch it to you to this front end. Let's do it. I can skip this like so. This was 20 days. If I add a little bit more days, you can see it when it's in the ground, because here it's already a little bit higher. So one image is 1 day, 1 day change. There's sometimes the GrowLab is on because it's working in automatic mode and there was not enough natural light, so it was very cloudy days or something, and my threshold was set to something, some X value, which depends on the site of course. So it used GrowLab automatically. That's why it's sometimes kind of purple. Anyway, here you can see the growth. The camera position is in here is not very good. But anyway, it serves my purpose. You can actually see when I have been changing over weeks the piping. There was first no pipes at all, then I implemented pipes, because this is a work in progress thing. And anyway, the potatoes roots are, I think they are much too big than in normal environment. But anyway, this is just a test. And actually today I implemented another toggle, or how to say, well, relay to like a side blower toggle. It doesn't have any automation yet here, but I'm thinking to implement something like, let's actually save this so it will soon turn on my big air ventilation blower. So anyway, the point is to be able to change the room air to get it a little bit lower. I have some servers here running which are not related to this service, but anyway, this room temperature will get really high, so I want to sometimes a little bit control it without having to have some sort of that kind of air ventilation that has those, you know, their coolant in there uses too much electricity. It's just using normal fan based, but it has a lot of power to really push out some air, because it's actually going air from this room, I mean outside from this room or house. Soon it will be on. In reality, it's just a relay that it is connected to the main box. This is pretty bad looking because I can also control it manually, but soon it will be on automatically. And soon the main unit is doing its poll. It's every 30 seconds it will ask for parameters and of course send those measurements. And like this it's on. I'm using these pipes with 3D printers to get the fumes out, and also with soldering, so there's one for that, but now I'm using one in the roof to get hot air out a little bit. Better than nothing. You can do much more with this system, and in the future even more, but at the moment it's like this. So thanks for watching.